We're going to go ahead and get started here now. I kind of cheated in the beginning when I said it was a cuddly cryptid. Let me go ahead and get started here. So, I was sent this link the other day. I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to see if you... this is such a bizarre description. I'm going to read this to you, and I'm going to see if you can guess the creature we're talking about. Its appearance is character... And I'm leaving out a few key details, okay, because otherwise it gives it away. Its appearance is characterized by dark blue hair, a huge mouth devoid of teeth, large, bulging eyes. His voice is serious and abrupt, and his speech is simplified, using an abundance of infinitives and omitting other linguistic complements. His diet includes muffins, donuts, apples, bananas, lettuce, as well as other inedible items such as salt and pepper dispensers, traffic signs, towels, pins, typewriters, telephones, motorcycles, Peabody Awards, a truck, a safe, a Volkswagen Beetle, and the letter of the day. So that's the description of Cookie Monster. That's the Spanish Wikipedia description of the Cookie Monster. Now, the English version of Cookie Monster, it does not have any of this, which I think is absolutely hilarious. The English version of Wikipedia is just like, you know who we're talking about. It's Cookie Monster. But the Spanish version decides to create this horrifying image of this creature with missing all of his teeth and a huge mouth, bulging eyeballs, and I guess those are accurate descriptions of Cookie Monster, but they're terrifying nonetheless. The reason why I came across this was because in the episode I did about shape-shifting women who eat men, I think it was, the title something like that. It was maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago. I forget very quickly. I described there was one of the cryptid women, one of the shapeshifters, who was described as having cookie-like hair. And I actually had 2 listeners chime in on that. Both of them kind of said it's probably a translation error. On YouTube, Edward Baez? Anyways, Edward said maybe they meant like empanadas. Like the hair was flaky. And then Jimmy emailed me and he said maybe it's like churros, like dreadlocks. I think it is a translation error. According also to this Spanish Wikipedia page, Cookie Monster, his best friend is Gustavo Frog. That's just weird to me. Like, I always thought Kermit the Frog was I know more about the history of Cookie Monster now than I ever thought I would know. Definitely more than I ever learned on Sesame Street. He started off stealing cereal. His original name was the Wheeljacker because he stole wheel-shaped cereal. And then his best buddy was a guy named Flute Snatcher. Now, because he ate fruit, because he stole flute-shaped cereal. Now, again, those might be translation errors as well. But that's a little bit about, who were we talking about again? Oh, yeah, Cookie Monster. He's also known as Monstro de la Galetas. So I think that's like Monster of the Cookies or something. And in Latin America, he simply goes by the name Lucas. And I guess when Disney they used to have different names everywhere. When Disney bought the Muppets, they said, nope, it's Kermit the Frog, it's Cookie Monster. They didn't they used to localize everything. So now if you grew up with Gustavo Frog and Lucas running around, you're like, who's that guy? Who's the Cookie Monster? Nom 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 nom. That might have gone on a little longer than I originally planned. I don't know. I found that fascinating. And thanks, guys, for your explanations of cookie-like hair. They're probably pretty likely. Now, we're going to go on. It's actually been a really interesting week, conspiracy and weirdness-wise. I got a lot of stories that are fairly recent coming out. But one of the ones that popped up, like maybe in the past few days, was really bizarre. And from the first thing you hear, you're like, that's absolutely impossible. And then you go, but weirder things have happened, and then you keep reading into it, and you're like, yeah, I don't know. So, we are going back a year. We're going back to January 2017, and we're traveling to the island of Java, the tastiest sounding island other than Cupcake Island. We go to Java Island, and we're sitting on the beach. We're enjoying the nice weather. It's beautiful out. There's sun. There's hot chicks walking around in bikinis. And we're just drinking Mai Tai. I don't know. what they drink there. We're drinking an alcoholic drink. We're drinking iced Java with some liquor in it. We're just hanging out. And we see this woman with her sister and I think one of their sons. She was with 2 other people. I'm just making up family members. Oh, it was like her 8th cousin. No, she was out there with at least her sister. I know that for sure. The woman's name is Naining Sunarse. Nairing Sunarse. We'll just call her Naining, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong as well. But anyways, Naining, she was a 52-year-old woman. She's out on a beach vacation with her sister and an other family member. Could be anyone in her genealogical tree. It's her great ancestor. They're out at the beach. They're enjoying the fun. They're enjoying the sun. We're sitting there, me and you, drinking our Java-infused drinks. Well, alcohol in the Java. Anyways, the point is the mood is set. I've set the mood. We're sitting there, seagulls, flying by. And a freak wave shows up. Now, luckily, we're sitting a little bit farther up the shore. Well, I am. I don't know about you, but a freak wave shows up. And we look, and Naining is gone. And her sister's like, no! And her unidentified family member was like, no! And they start to try to find her, but she's swept out to sea. And they call the authorities. The authorities come out, and they're like, well, we'll have, like, Coast Guard people show up looking for her. But it's a big ocean, guys. It's a big ocean. And they don't find her. Fast forward to a couple months ago. Like a month or 2 ago, actually. Her father, who was not at the beach, you can eliminate him from who was a guy at the beach. Her father started having these dreams of Naining on the beach, saying, look for me, father. Look for me, father. I'm coming back. And the father at first just dismisses the dreams. But the dreams keep coming, and he's having these dreams of his daughter standing on this beach, beckoning him to come and find her. So he does, and the other family members go to the beach to try to find her. And for several weeks, they're looking for her. And then one day, they go out to the beach, and they see Naining laying there in the sand, waves crashing over her. And they're like, oh my god. They call rescue people, medics, I can think they're commonly called. They call the Paw Patrol. They get these medics out there, and they take her home, and there's all this video footage of this woman being, like, rescued, but it's in this language, wherever she's from. It's like Thailand, or Indonesia, or somewhere around there. It's a language that, let me get to the point, it's a language I don't understand. And I would, now see, this is where now I think you see where I'm going with this. It's a language I don't understand. It's a language I think most people don't understand unless you're in that region. It's not a common second language in the Western world. There's video footage of a woman, of Naining, being taken home, and she's like laying there and stuff like that, and all these medics are around here, and they're speaking in her native language. And this is where it gets weird. Well, that was already weird, because that gap between the time she got washed away in January 2017, she washed up recently, so she'd been washed away for 1.5 years, and a kicker to that, she was found wearing the same clothes. Now, on the beach, she was wearing a yellow dress, and when she washed up, she was wearing the same yellow dress. Now, she is still completely, like, out of it right now. She has not been able to say where she was during that time or how she survived. She is incommunicado. She's a little loopy. And the family is saying, please just give us some time to take care of her. That really came to being publicized. That really broke the news earlier in the week. And the narrative I just told you is there's a ton of articles on this. I'm linking maybe 3 or 4 in the show notes, but there's a ton of articles about this. And it was like in the Daily Mail, so it's like semi-reputable. Daily Mail's, yeah, I would say semi-reputable news. It's mostly a tabloid. But if you want to know that, Scary Spice and who's the other one? Who was British Spice? I guess they're all British Spice, but Scary Spice and the Spice Girl, who's Jerry Halliwell, they were banged during the Spice Girls, like the original run, not the reunion. Those two were banging each other. That's the level of news in the Daily Mail. And I did read that article, by the way. Was it Sexy Spice? But anyway, it doesn't matter. They banged. That's the point of that. So the Daily Mail is a tabloid, but it wasn't just in the Daily Mail. It's in a lot of paranormal websites. It's in a lot of like regular news websites because it's such a bizarre story. Here's the kicker. So I started looking into this because I was like, that's absolutely fascinating if true. And it's kind of fascinating if it's not, because it just shows how quickly rumors spread. So I watched the video. I didn't understand a word of it, but I watched the video, and the video is purported to be her being taken off the beach and taken home. She's not wearing a yellow dress. She's wearing a blue top. So immediately I said, either she was taken somewhere else and they changed her clothes, or that video's fake, and it's being attached to this story. And sure enough, I found in it when I was continuing to research this, one of the articles said, here's some photos that are being purported to be Nining, but these are actually photos of someone being let out of a mental hospital and taken home. And what's weird is that this footage and these photos are being used in almost every article, but only one pointed out, people on WhatsApp have identified that those photos are from a totally different news story in the same area. So that's not Nining, has nothing to do with the story. So right off the bat, the video evidence is not true at all. And then I go, oh, okay, well, that's a big spoiler. And now I'm thinking the story's false. And here's the thing. To me, this is the detail that stuck out. I will accept that someone can get swept out to sea and washed away and go into some sort of magical portal land or something like that and come back. I don't believe it offhand. Well, I kind of did this one, but I guess not really. I didn't believe it, but I thought I'm open to the idea of like dimensional portals and stuff like that. What I thought was weird, so let's say that the story is true, and she begins giving her dad instructions to come and to the beach and find her. And I guess I should have said this earlier, she was found at the same location that she had gotten washed away. That actually was the original story. But then the story evolved that it wasn't the same spot, it's 500 meters away, whatever. So, if I'm trying to get someone to come to my location, I'm not going to start asking them to come out 2 months before I show back magically up in reality. Because it's very, very likely, because she had been coming to her dad in the dreams for a long time, and then he still had to go out there every day for a couple weeks to find, every day for a couple weeks. At any point, he could have just been like, it's just, I'm having these nightmares. Here's a pro tip. If you're ever a ghost or trapped in a magical realm and you need to send a message, don't send the message too early. Because then they're going to go out, get discouraged, and go back, or people are going to start thinking they're crazy. Send it the night before you leave Oz or whatever. So I thought that was a weird detail too, the dad going out there every single day looking for her. They could have said he had the dream, and then it was so vivid that he went out the next morning and she was there. That would be a little more believable. But really, I think at this point, none of it's believable. I would be surprised if Nining actually exists at all. Oh, and here's another thing. This was something weird. She's 52 years old. How old's her dad? In his 70s? He would be in his late 60s minimum if she's 52. And she had a sister, so yeah, he was probably like, if she's 52 or 53, whatever, he would have had to, I look back over at my notes, if he would have to be, let's say he had the kids when he was like 20. So he's like, and you have this you're harassing this old man. You're trapped in another dimension, and your ghost keeps waking up a 70-year-old man saying, go to the beach today, go to the beach today. And he's like, oh, my arthritis. And she's like, I don't care. So that detail was kind of weird too, that she was so old. But I'm thinking that they may have made her that old to match the photos in the video that was going to be attached to the story. Weird story. Don't think it's true, but there's definitely either someone concocted it on purpose to play some sort of prank, or it was just I wouldn't be surprised to find out if legends have been going around for a long time in that area. This story, and it's constantly being updated every 10, 15 years, and this time it actually just went viral, which is a possibility as well. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.